Well, hello there. I'm Kylie Butler from Inspired Careers, and today it's my absolute pleasure to be talking to you about confidence and, more importantly, building confidence. So let's start with the textbook definition, and I'm going to read this. So confidence is defined as the feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something. And today we're going to be talking about self-confidence. So that confidence that you can really believe in yourself. And some of that's based on self-worth as well. So there's a number of different things that we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to look at, really importantly, developing a success mindset. We're going to talk about power posing, which is incredibly powerful. And we're going to talk about body language. And then we're going to talk about how you take your talents to the world. So stick with me for the next few minutes and we're going to make you feel super confident for whatever it is in life, whether it's the interview, whether it's a big meeting, whether it's you just want to feel confident in who you are and what you're doing every day. Listen on in and we're going to run through all of those aspects. We're going to start talking about the success mindset. So what am I talking about when I say success mindset? We're talking about you putting yourself in a state where you truly believe in yourself, have the confidence that the whole purpose of this video, building confidence, is when you truly believe in yourself and you believe in the success that you deserve and that you have the capability to earn and attain the success that you aspire to have. And so the success mindset is when you feel incredibly confident and capable. Now, how do you do that? The first way that you do that is you listen to your self-talk. That is incredibly, incredibly powerful. The subconscious is incredibly powerful, but that's a whole other video. Let's just touch on it by saying that the inner voice that you have, this kind of dialogue that's always going on, what is it saying? Is it a little cheerleader going, yeah, Kylie, you can do this, you've got this, you're going to nail it, you're awesome? Or is it saying, I can't, you don't, what if, oh, I shouldn't. Should's a terrible word. Change any should to could. Instead of, oh, I should be getting up earlier in the morning and exercising. Oh, that's just so laden with guilt and you're blaming yourself. It's so negative. I could get up in the morning and go for a run. Yeah, it's got possibility. There's hope there. So you want to be listening to your dialogue. So and sometimes you can actually hear other people if they kind of tend to talk to themselves and they go, oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I dropped that. Oh, God, I'm so silly. Oh, I can't believe I forget things all the time. You listen to yourself and just constantly, or yourself or someone else, it's just so negative. So you want to firstly just listen. Just listen in. The first thing is awareness, listening to how you're speaking to yourself. Because would you speak like that to one of your best friends? Would you be like, oh, you're silly, you kind of forgot that again, you're really crap at detail? Or would you say, yeah, whatever, but you're great at other things, and yeah, keep going, you'll be awesome at that. Hopefully, if you're a good friend and you're a nice person, then you would be. So try and think of yourself as your own personal cheerleader and think about how you would talk to somebody in a supportive way. That's how you want to be speaking to yourself. Now, another thing that you can do to really develop your confidence, because often we look at our to-do lists and we don't get through them. And then we kind of go, oh, maybe we've failed. Like we're just not achieving what we set out to achieve in a day. How about you look at, on a daily basis, what you have achieved at the end of the day? So list all the things that you have done. And even once you've finished listening to this video, journal. If you don't already journal, journaling's a great thing. And if you don't do it, maybe start a habit. If you do it, incorporate this in. And write down the things that you've achieved that day, that week, in your lifetime, the significant things. And yeah, there's a fantastic book around trophies, but you kind of imagine you've got your own trophy room and you are putting little trophies in there for all these amazing things that you do and are and be. And so make sure that you reward yourself. So think, being your own cheerleader and really acknowledging everything you do and the great aspects of who you are. If you've got particularly low self-confidence in addition to doing 10 gratitude today, which is a really great habit, you can say every morning 5 things that you love or even like about yourself. That you're generous, that you're kind, that you're investing in improving yourself. So 5 things, and again, another really great habit to have. Those 2 things are incredibly powerful. I think I've got a third and then I might have forgotten it. creative visualization. I can't forget that one. So some people think it's really quite woo-woo, you know, but it's not. This is what Olympic athletes do to prepare for, you know, whatever, you know, sport or activity that they are involved in, and as well as a lot of successful people. So it works, again, on the subconscious on a number of different levels, but without getting into the science of it, with creative visualization, you, in your body, conjure up the image of you being successful. So if it's an interview, you imagine yourself walking out at the end of the interview, shaking the interviewer's hand, knowing you've nailed it. And in your mind, when you think of this, as you wake in the morning and when you go to sleep at night are the best times when you kind of tapped into your subconscious there. But you bring up this image in your mind, the kind of daydream, and you kind of feel all the feelings. You feel, I feel that sort of sense of pride and confidence, and you feel them shaking your hand, you know that you've done really well. So, I mean, the interview is just one example. You can, great before public speaking. Just imagine yourself in a public speak, everyone's engaged, hanging on your every word, you know, really interested in what you're saying. Again, very, very powerful in that situation. But just in life, you can imagine yourself when you've got this new job, when you've got the new house, when you've got a new car, and you're putting the keys into the door or the ignition of your fancy new car. But also, it doesn't need to be external material things. You can just imagine yourself feeling amazeballs in your own skin, running down the beach, feeling fabulous. So again, creative visualization, a very, very powerful tool to bring success into your life. So listen to your inner critic and your self-talk. Journal or list down your achievements and accomplishments and everything wonderful about who you are and what you do, and also make creative visualization a habit. Power posing. This is a topic that I get really excited about. So once you've finished this video, you might want to do some Googling and find out a little bit more. But power posing was made famous by Amy Cuddy, who's a Harvard researcher, and she had a very famous TED talk about how body language changes our lives. And absolutely fascinating. Again, I won't go into all the technical science because that's not my strong point, but there is, again, if you want to Google it, there's an incredible amount of science behind this. But essentially what you want to do is to really develop, increase your confidence for a particular instance, meeting, interview, encounter, whatever it is that you want to feel particularly confident for. You need to take at least 2 minutes, and you need to find a private space. You can do it in a toilet cubicle if you're in an office block, or you can do it in your car, or you can do it in a room where you need to find a private space, because what you need to do to feel more confident is pull these really expansive kind of gestures, body language, movements, like stand like Wonder Woman with your shoulders back and your hands on your hips, your legs quite far apart in quite a firm stance. And essentially what you're doing, or you can kind of sit like this as well. I mean, and this is why I say to do it in a private space, because you're certainly not going to be doing it in a room with someone like, with your hands on your hips, your head like this, like a really arrogant salesperson. The reason I say that is because I've interviewed with people who have literally sat like this in an interview. It does nothing for your success in the interview. So you're in a private space, you're pulling these power poses. Now, what essentially happens in this situation is it goes back to the days of the animal kingdom, where animals, when in a dangerous situation, beef themselves up to become bigger. And what happens is, just like with any thought process in our mind, it changes the chemical composition of our body. So what happens when you pull these very expansive, wide stances and essentially make yourself bigger is that you increase the testosterone and decrease the cortisol. So you basically make yourself feel less stressed and more confident. It is so powerful. I do it for a lot of speaking events. You are just calmer, and when you're calmer, you are thinking more, fluidly. Thoughts are coming to you, ideas are coming to you, and it's just such an amazing and powerful hack. So power posing, start using it, and let me know how you go. Body language, so incredibly powerful for feeling more confident and looking more confident. And when you look more confident, then you're going to feel more confident as well. So lovely kind of upward spiral we're going in here. So 101, we start with the handshake, never floppy wet fish. It really says a lot about you when someone's kind of going to hold your hand, properly, or so firm. Never do the power hand over. Very aggressive, and you want people to like you. If we're talking interviews especially, it's important that you develop a rapport with people. So firm handshake is very important. Shoulders back, incredibly powerful. Like, do I look like I'm really confident and I'm the person who's going to be successful in your business if I kind of sit here like this? It's when I'm here, like I'm owning the space, I'm sitting up, I'm here. It also says I'm attentive, I'm interested. So shoulders back is incredibly important. It seems so 101, but there are so many people that really don't do it in an interview and don't really factor in the way they come across through the way that they hold themselves. So shoulders back, firm handshake, eye contact. You need to be holding eye contact for a minimum of 60% of the time. Obviously, you're not going to be counting, but if you don't, you appear shifty if your kind of eyes are all over the place. So it's really important that you're conscious there. Now, in terms of your voice, you should also be conscious of the tone and pitch and speed. So sometimes when people are really nervous, they speak really fast and they go up, and you sound quite young and immature. So it's just conscious to slow yourself down. Pause to fight. Pauses also give your brain time to kind of power up if you can't think of a response. So slow down and make sure that your voice doesn't go up too much in pitch. That's very important. When if you're standing in a meeting, if you need to put your feet kind of more slightly apart than you might normally, so you've got a kind of firmer grip on the world, so you're standing stronger, and you're less likely to teeter, especially if you're nervous. Now, if you are nervous and you're somebody who, especially if you're shaking, so just make sure that you've got your hands are on, hands are on the desk, or your hands are on your lap. Again, if you do exercises like power posing, that can help. Another thing, if you are particularly nervous, is just to be conscious of your breath. So especially if you're say waiting for a meeting or waiting for an interview, then instead of thinking over all the responses or the things you're going to say, you can just breathe in and breathe out, and make sure your exhalation is longer than your inhalation. That will actually slow your heart rate down. So not necessarily building confidence, but certainly taking you away from that nervous and anxious state. That can be incredibly powerful. So just be really conscious of your body language as well. There's nothing wrong with using your hands. Just be careful not to kind of big gestures, because people will be just distracted by what you're actually saying. A bit of using your hands is actually quite good. And there's, again, some science that kind of says that using your hands can power up your thinking. So, using appropriate kind of a gesturing is certainly okay. But the important thing is that you are also not only getting the right amount of eye contact, but listening actively can also really help as well. So it can also help take away from the nerves. So when you're there, you're looking at the person, you're interested in them, and you're nodding and smiling, and you're really taking in what they're saying. That will a little bit of an addition onto body language, but that will certainly help with your confidence, and certainly develop with rapport. And then hopefully you feel more confident because you've got an amazing rapport with whoever it is that you're speaking with. So that's it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video on building confidence. I hope now that you will be listening to your self-talk, to your inner critic. You will be your own cheerleader. You'll be doing those power poses. You'll be standing there with your shoulders back, smiling, engaging, and just feeling amazing and celebrating the amazing person that you are. And I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful.